There is a feeling with no name. You have carried it your whole life. It comes without warning. A song plays and suddenly you are somewhere else. Light falls through a window at a certain angle and your chest tightens. You smell bread baking, and for one moment you are a child again, in a kitchen you cannot quite remember, with people whose faces have blurred with time. This feeling has a word in almost every language. The Portuguese call it saudade, a longing for something absent, something that may never return, something that may never have existed at all. The Welsh call it hiraeth, a homesickness for a home you cannot go back to, or that never was. The Germans call it sehnsucht, a deep emotional yearning for a far-off place, a different life, an unknown something. Every culture has named this feeling, because every human has felt it. For most of history, we thought it was a disease. In the 17th century, Swiss doctors identified a condition killing soldiers far from home. They called it nostalgia, from the Greek nostos, meaning return home, and algos, meaning pain. Homesickness was literally considered fatal. Soldiers were dying from longing. We no longer think of it as a disease, but we still do not fully understand it. When you feel nostalgia, something specific happens in your brain. The memory centers light up, the hippocampus, the amygdala, but so do the reward centers, the same ones activated by food, by love, by music. Nostalgia is painful, but it is also deeply pleasurable. It hurts and it comforts at the same time. This is why certain triggers are so powerful. A smell bypasses your conscious mind entirely, traveling directly to the limbic system where emotion and memory intertwine. You do not decide to feel nostalgic. Your brain ambushes you with the past. Watch this woman. She has traveled to a village on the Portuguese coast, a place her grandmother left 60 years ago. She carries an old photograph and a journal full of questions. She has never been here before, but she has been homesick for this place her entire life. She steps off the train, and the air is different here, salt and stone and something green. She walks into the village, and every corner feels like a memory she cannot place. She passes a bakery. The smell of bread stops her mid-step. Her grandmother used to bake bread every Sunday. The recipe is lost now, but her body remembers something her mind cannot reach. A church bell rings. The sound moves through her like a wave. She has heard this bell before, in her grandmother's stories, in her own dreams. She has never been here, but some part of her recognizes it. This is the paradox of nostalgia. You can miss what you never had. You can be homesick for a place you have never been. But why? Why would evolution build this into us? What purpose could this pain possibly serve? For most of human history, home meant survival. Your tribe, your territory, your people. Separation from them meant death. The ache of longing was not romantic. It was a biological alarm. Come back. Return. You will die alone. The ancestors who felt this ache most strongly were the ones who returned. They survived. They passed on their genes, and so the longing was wired deeper and deeper into the human brain. Homesickness kept us alive. But something strange happened. Our brains grew larger. We developed imagination, memory, language. We became the only species that could long for things that never existed. We could dream of homes we had never seen. We could ache for people we had never met. We could be nostalgic for a past that never happened. The same mechanism that once saved our ancestors now makes us homesick for fictions. She finds her grandmother's house. She recognizes it from the photograph, the stone walls, the blue shutters. But something is wrong. The house is smaller than she imagined. The shutters are faded and peeling. The garden is overgrown. She stands at the gate and feels a strange disappointment. This is the place, but it is not the place. The real house and the imagined house cannot be reconciled. She realizes something. She was not homesick for this building. She was homesick for a story. A story her grandmother told and her mother repeated, and she embellished in her own imagination over 30 years. The house in her heart was never this house. It was a construction, a beautiful fiction. And now she must confront the question that has haunted philosophers for centuries. What is home, and why can we never seem to find it? The philosopher Martin Heidegger wrote that humans are thrown into existence. We arrive in the world without choosing it, without understanding it, already in motion. And we spend our lives trying to find ground, trying to feel at home in a universe that never asked if we wanted to be here. Albert Camus said we are exiles searching for a kingdom we cannot name. We sense that we belong somewhere, but we cannot find it. We are strangers, even in familiar places. Perhaps this is why every culture has a word for this longing. It is not a flaw in some people. It is a feature of being human. We are the species that longs. We are built for reaching. She enters the garden. Weeds have overtaken the vegetable beds her grandmother once tended. Wild roses climb the crumbling walls. An old stone bench sits under an almond tree, covered in moss. She sits down and opens her satchel. Inside are her grandmother's letters, written decades ago, sent from this village to a new country, a new life. She begins to read. And she discovers something she did not expect. Her grandmother also longed for something she could not name. Even when she lived here, in this house, in this garden, she wrote a feeling like a stranger. She dreamed of elsewhere. She ached for something beyond the horizon. The longing did not begin when she left. It was already there. It was always there. Perhaps home is not a place you find. Perhaps home is not a place at all. She looks up from the letters. The afternoon light is golden now. The garden, for all its wildness, is beautiful. The almond tree casts gentle shadows. A bird sings somewhere unseen. And she understands something. Home is not a destination. Home is not a building or a village or a country. Home is not even a time you can return to. Home is the moments when the longing quiets, not because it is satisfied, but because you stop fighting it. When you stand at the edge of the sea and feel the ache and let it be. When you sit with someone in silence and do not need them to complete you. When you look at light falling through a window and feel grief and beauty at the same time and you do not look away. In those moments, you are not reaching, you are not searching, you are simply here. And here, for one breath, is enough. She walks to the cliff top as the sun begins to set. The ocean stretches endless before her. The sky burns gold and deep blue. She takes out the photograph of her grandmother standing in front of the house, young, hopeful, already longing for something beyond the frame. She does not tear it up. She does not throw it away. She places it gently among the wildflowers at the cliff's edge. A gift, a release, an acknowledgement that some things cannot be held, only honored. The longing will not leave. It is part of her now. It has always been part of her. But she no longer sees it as a wound to be healed. She sees it as proof that she is alive, proof that she is capable of love, of memory, of reaching towards beauty. You are homesick for a place that does not exist. You always have been. You always will be. And that is not a tragedy. That is not a flaw. That is the most human thing about you. The ache is the proof that you are still reaching, still alive, still capable of being moved by a song, a smell, a slant of light that reminds you of something you cannot name. So let it remain. Let it ache. Let it make you tender, make you searching, make you alive. You will never arrive, but you are never meant to. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are homesick for a place that does not exist, and that homesickness has made you who you are.